On today's free-to-play series, we are going to talk about 5 things that are happening in the background that I've been keeping my eye on to ensure that in the early stages, the faster I get them done, the more rewards I will have in the late game. So we're going to talk about those 5 things. There are a couple of other honorary mentions that didn't make it into the list and discuss why this account hasn't grown as fast as it should. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to the Gekko, another video for you guys, and today we're going to talk about the free-to-play account. And so we're going to start with just letting you guys know that unfortunately this week I had to revamp my whole schedule with work and with things that I'm doing at home to ensure that I have more time for this account. So it has not gotten as much time as I'd like to give it, but hopefully in the next coming days everything will be better and you guys will see in the next video this account growing quite faster. Now with that being said, let's talk about a few side things you should keep an eye on, because in the early stage there are a few very important side things you can do and you should invest your time in that will pay dividends throughout the game and will be even better for you late game. So the first thing in this list is the expedition. Now the expedition is this thing where all you do is you have these stages where when you click on the stage you have your enemy armies and you can set up a set of armies to attack them, and pretty much if you beat them and fulfill all these missions targets, you get either 1, 2, or 3 stars. When you end up getting the 3 stars, you will end up getting a bunch of gold, nice little medals of conqueror, and every 3-star expedition will give you a certain amount of gold conqueror coins every single day. So every couple of days after you're training more and more troops or leveling up more and more your commanders, you're going to want to come into the expedition and make sure you're up to date and you're 3-starring as many as possible. Now a lot of people have been telling me, no, don't 3-star so you can go back and get the resources again and again and again and again. That is one approach to it, but as much as resources are important, as a free-to-play member, as a free-to-play person, you really are trying to push for your commanders. Your commanders are going to be the toughest thing for you. Even though gathering is rough, even though speed ups are rough, commanders for free-to-play members are very, very difficult. Now, thankfully, the way you use these gold coins is through the medal store. So this store pretty much has a bunch of things in it that cost medals or gold coins, whatever you want to call them. And it has the commander of the week. It has an epic commander that you can purchase as many times as you can, as long as you have the gold coins for it. And it has a daily free refresh where you can end up getting lucky like I got right here and get a legendary commander sculpture for 2.5 thousand coins. Now you also have constants, which we'll talk about in a future video, but pretty much the quicker you guys get through these, the more days you will get more coins. The bottom line is you will get a massive amount of coins, and a lot of the epic commanders end up sitting up here for at least a week. There's a nice rotation. You can get Kusunoki in here, you can get Pelagius in here, you can get Yulji here, you can get Belisarius in here, whose week is up right now, and I've talked to the devs and they know that his image is not appearing. Oh well. So having your expedition leveled up as much as possible early on will pay you every single day more gold coins, which means you'll be able to get more commander sculptures faster. So this is one of my top priorities. Another top priority might sound a little weird to you guys because it's kind of a no-brainer. Gather. It doesn't matter how many troops you have, gather. So I've been gathering, you see this set of troops went to gather only in 18,000 food, which is kind of ridiculous, right? You don't want to be gathering 18,000 food, you want to gather full tiles. But the reason gathering is even more important than you think early game is not because of the resources that you're going to get hundreds and hundreds of thousands on early on throughout the game. I am actually gathering because I want to pile up a nice amount of side quests. Now, the side quests is worth noticing that I have not been picking them up at all, and as a matter of fact, I picked up another side quest, and the reason I'm not doing it is because if I take these side quests like this one, we have 10,000 of each of these guys, 9.2, and then 4,500 stone. The moment I claim it, it will be available for purging. So if you're in a place where you might get hit, you might end up having to not be a juicy target for people, then you really don't want to have resources on hand, and keeping them as a side quest is not a bad idea. The reason gathering early on is so important, though, is that throughout the game, you will get side quests for food gathering, stone gathering, wood gathering, and gold gathering. And the more that you gather, the more rewards you'll end up getting. And if you keep gathering, even 10,000 at a time, you just keep piling on the amounts of resources in your side quest. And eventually, you'll reach a situation where you don't have available resources to build or whatever not, and you'll be able to utilize these to help you get that extra push. I've been hoarding these, as you can see, and I have a lot of good resources waiting for me whenever I need them. It is a really good help early on, so keep that in mind. The quicker you get those, the more resources you'll have available towards the late stages of the early game, mid game ish, where you starts getting a little bit more difficult to get things going. So let's go ahead and go gather a little bit of wood, and these guys are gonna hate me because I'm starting this tile and I'm probably gonna leave it half done. So sorry to my alliance, but it is what it is. The next thing we're gonna talk about is just what we talked about, the side quests and main quests. So doing your main quests is super beneficial, primarily because you don't really see what the next main quest is. But believe it or not, some of these main quests are very, very, very useful. Some of them will give you a ginormous amount of resources. Others will give you a huge amount of gems, gold keys, and a bunch of other things, including sculptures for your main commander. So you really want to be focusing on getting your main quests done as soon as possible, because the more of them you do, as you can see, the more rewards we get. And here we get 10 Boudica sculptures, 600 gems from City Hall 9, and just like that, we get tier 2s in here, as we were supposed to train tier 2. So 500 tier 2s available for free means that I am going to be gathering more with them. Freebies are always nice. So you should be pushing your main quests as much as possible, and some side quests you can actually take advantage of. For example, you guys can see right here these side quests, which only give you tiles of speed ups, which can be super useful. So you can take those and utilize them. There are other side quests that are just like these ones, which we talked about, which are resources available on hand, which you might not really want to do. But you can see there are a lot of speed ups, a lot of good things in these side quests that you can really take advantage of. So make sure you take your time and do them. You'll be doing them as you play the game, but just keep an eye on if there are any side quests that you can do intentionally rather than just going through them. So that was point number 3. Point number 4 is a bit of a weird one. It's an event, more specifically an event that is not happening right now, unfortunately, and that is the Lohar event. Lohar is one of those commanders that is so important, both early game, late game, mid game, every part of the game. He's very important. The reason he's very important is he's a peacekeeping commander, your #1 guy for peacekeeping, and secondly, he is a massive healer. Some of the events that require you to be able to keep your troops out for long, or even barbarian hunting, when you have this guy at a high level where he's healing a substantial amount, especially if you max him out, you can tank a lot of damage and help yourself stay out in the fight longer with barbarians. On my big account, I use Lohar and Richard as the tanks for every barbarian I go hunting, and then I send as many other marches as I want, because they will take very limited damage considering what he takes. And the funny thing is, by the time I'm done gathering hitting barbarians, most of my troops are on red, and this guy with Richard is still white, no damage taken. So he is super important to focus on early on. Kill it throughout the Lohar event. And here's the thing. This actually ties into the next point, which I've been waiting this week to show it to you guys, so I haven't done it yet myself. If you guys are saying, well, I don't have AP, how am I going to get AP? First of all, you should be using all your AP every day. Secondly, you should be every single week purchasing the VIP shop AP potions. This is 3,000 AP potions for food. There's absolutely no question whether this is worth it or not. And these speed ups while we're at it, I'm actually going to go ahead and instead of untiling 150,000 food, I'm going to go ahead into my side quests right here and start popping them off, which is just what we talked about, making these resources available. And with that, I'll be able to finish up those speed ups, which will be very, very useful for me to continue progressing on this account. So let's go ahead and pick up the speed ups as well. I think we have enough. We need another 15,000. So let's go ahead and grab those 15 from here. Let's do 3, 4, 5, and 6. This should be more than enough. And now we picked up all these beauties. Bam. So these two are a must. These two you guys have to keep an eye on, and every single week pick up. And honestly, you have the Karak event coming up in the future, so you're really not going to be wanting to waste all of these, but you will definitely end up getting a lot of these by doing a little bit of barbarian fort fights and stuff like that in the mid game and towards the late game. So picking these up early on for your Lohar is a great thing to do, and just smash that Lohar. I think on day 3 or day 4 of a kingdom, Lohar comes up, the Lohar event. So make sure you guys already have your shop, you guys already have your AP, and just go smash that Lohar. That was point number 4, and point number 5 was the actual VIP shop, which we just talked about. A couple of other honorary mentions that are worth pointing out are that, you know, we talk a lot about the fact that one of your main priorities should be, well, your main priority should be your city hall leveling and getting your city hall as far up as possible. So you should be entertaining and making sure all your builders are building towards the city hall. But there's actually something that most people don't think about when they grow their city hall, and this is the honorary mention. That is the Alliance Center. Now the Alliance Center is part of the city hall growth at some point or another, but it doesn't always keep up. Meaning, as of right now, I'm City Hall 10, and yet this guy is level 10 as well. Why is that, you ask? The reason for that is because the higher the level of your Alliance Center is, the more helps you can get from your Alliance. The more helps you get from your Alliance, the less time you gotta spend on waiting or on speed ups. So I think that it is worth spending the time if you have a second builder, or you are stuck without resources or stuck without speed ups or something of the sort. I've gotten situations where I only needed one building to finish so I can go ahead and get my city hall done, and I had another builder queue on standby. So I think that leveling up your Alliance Center is really crucial, because this is something that'll pay you dividends long term. You're getting more helps early on to get early on as much time saved as possible. So those are the things that I've been keeping my eye on very early on. Obviously, this has nothing to do with the main focuses that you should have on a day-to-day basis. These are your city hall, your researches to push up your military and your economy so you do things faster and better, gathering and barbarian hunting to ensure you get as many of those free AP as possible. As you guys can see, I am full of AP, and therefore I am really not utilizing the most out of this account. As my guys are gathering, I'm not going to go hunt barbarians right now, but as soon as they're back from gathering, I'm going to make sure to drain those AP before I go to bed. So these are the things that you guys do on your day-to-day. These are the things that I think you should keep an eye on that have nothing to do with like the main objective of the game. Your expedition, gathering for side quests, doing side quests as well as main quests, Lohar event, and your VIP shop. Once you keep an eye on all these things, and of course, as an honorary mention, the Alliance Center. These are the side things in the game that will just pay you dividends every single day for keeping up with them. Are there things that I missed that you guys think I should add to this list? Are there things that you guys did that you found very useful in your early game and are paying dividends to this day in your late stage of the game? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what that was. I'm the Gekko. I'm out of here. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. If you guys liked this video, this series, the free-to-play stuff, smash the like button so I know you guys like this and I keep making these videos. Also, subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell so you get a notification every time I upload a new video. We're very close to 14,000 subscribers. I'd love to do it in February. I'd love to hit 14,000 subscribers for my birthday that's coming up in a couple of weeks. So yeah, I'm the Gekko. I'm out of here. Again, thank you all for all your continuous support. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Go have fun. Stay safe. Don't drink and drive. Stay positive. Surround yourself with good people. You are the average of your 5 closest friends. So make sure you're surrounded by motivating, positive, awesome people that bring you up and you bring them up with you. Until the next time, you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you guys on stream tomorrow. Peace.